Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 260. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, which we actually have one this week, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for all things firearms related. In this show, we'll be discussing Zane's FI Gen 5 trigger review, KelTecs new 22, US Optics new 1-8, and a handy little 1022 bolt stop. And today on the podcast, we have the regulars, Tony, Zane, and Rob. And I guess you guys one of you can start with what you did in firearms.
Yeah, because you're going to brag in about 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Well, I didn't do a whole heck of a lot. I think I made it. Well, this is like 2 weeks since we've done a show. So I'm talking maybe I went to the range once, did some dry firing. I had a brother of mine wrote me into helping him move last weekend. And then Saturday and Sunday down here, the weather just stunk. I mean, it was nothing. It rained all day Sunday. I mean, just rained all day Sunday. So there wasn't a whole lot going out this weekend. And that's all I did. Zach, and old Chad's like, shaking his head, no.
Hey, it rains here in Oregon, so I understand rain.
No, it was raining from like 3 o'clock in the morning until 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Just a constant crappy drizzle.
Yeah, it was across the whole state. They did it here.
Yeah, and it's one of those where I just rather just pour and be done with it. The crappy drizzle's like, God, I can't, you want to do something where it's like you got the crappy drizzle, But anyways.
Are you both really trying to explain rain to people? Everybody has rain, dude.
Hey.
We know how rain works. It's water falling from the sky.
And we know about drizzle. And we know about
I went to work yesterday, and everybody who works up in New Hampshire and a few other places up north, like, we got this 6 feet of snow. We got this snow and that snow. I'm like, okay, shut up. So tell everybody what the weather's like down here,
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's something old people get excited by. Move along.
Okay, Tony, what'd you do?
I did absolutely nothing. I've been not feeling well. And every time I want to go out and do something, my wife looks at me and go, you're going to die, right? You're going to die, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll go out later. And
that almost sounds like a threat.
Oh, it is, because I was out for almost 2 straight weeks of work, and she threatened my life every day after the first week. So I went to the prison to get away from my wife so I could feel safe.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah.
Well, all I did was dry fire a lot.
I didn't do much. I finished the review I'm doing today, and then I wrote another one that I got to finish, and I think I went to the range once, but since I can't remember, it obviously wasn't too exciting.
Yeah, I believe that. Well, the only range I got to were the couple at range days at SHOT Show. Oh, there you go, bragging. Actually, I did go to SHOT Show, as you guys probably know. Went to range day, the SHOT Show range day. Shot the few pistols that I said I was going to shoot, the Q5 match, the Mossberg MS subcompact, whatever it's called, and some other stuff that was irrelevant, like the pistol we'll be talking about later. So I did that. I actually liked the Mossberg pistol. I thought they did a good job at it. Learned some more stuff on it, which was nice. Even though we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Then, of course, we wandered over to SIG range day, which as we got there, the wind was doing about 90 miles an hour. And it started to rain. So, of course, we ate some food.
Could you describe the wind and the rain to us, please? I don't know how that works.
No. I'm gonna just.
He's extra grumpy today. I don't know what's going on.
But
yeah, he's really, really mad at us today.
Yeah, but at SIG Range Day, they gave me this nice set of Walker. Let's see, what are they? Razor Digital earmuffs. So that was nice.
Yeah, I got a set of those. They're real nice.
Well, that way you won't hear the 320s going off when people drop them off the table.
That's right. So we weren't there very long because it was cold and rainy and hard to stand up. So then after that, we went to an indoor range, which there was a CMC thing at the indoor range. Wasn't anything really spectacular to shoot. So we just talked to the We Like Shooting guys, and that was about it. Because they were there. And so that pretty much did us for range day. Then, of course, was SHOT Show. I was really kind of disappointed. There wasn't anything that I saw that was super spectacular. I mean, there's some stuff here and there, but it wasn't great. It was just kind of a little bit here, a little bit there. Seems like everybody under the sun is making a small red dot optic to put on pistols now. Everybody under the sun's making a Glock slide. Let's see. Did I see anything else spectacular? No, everybody's doing colors for their ARs. Hung out with JD and Reed from the AR-15 prophylactic podcast.
You mean the lower receiver iron sight podcast?
No, the AR-15 prophylactic podcast.
Oh, okay. I have a question before we get too far gone.
Okay.
You said you checked out that M1C. I guess that's what they call it from Mossberg.
I think it's an MS1SC, I think is what it is.
Whatever. They're a little tiny pistol.
Yes.
So how did it handle? Was it grippy? Was it all over the place? Did it feel torusy?
No, it felt quite nice. It had good feel to it.
He said, did it feel torusy? He said, no, it felt quite nice.
We all know.
No, it's polymer, so, but it felt good. It felt good to shoot. I mean, those little guns are snappy, as anybody who shot one knows.
Mm-hmm.
They, as we talked about, it will take G43 mags. Also, the sight are SIG pattern sights, so there's a plethora of sight options out there. They didn't make their own, so I can say that was nice. Even JD, who's got like monster hands, kind of like Tony over there, shot it, and he said it shot nice for him, so he could actually shoot it.
I mean, I know it's not going to be the Glock killer. Thank goodness I haven't seen that headline yet.
Oh, but, I should have said that, Tony.
but no, I was just wondering about it because, with concealed carry in many, many, many states now, and some people just don't want to be another person that buys an overpriced Glock. Sorry, but you can buy something like that, or even the Taurus G2. If you want, because I'm hearing nothing but good about those, but who knows? I'd still go with a brand new Mossberg before I go with a Taurus G2.
I think I would too. And, time will tell how well they hold up when people start buying them. But as far as a concealed carry pistol, a small one, I thought it was a decent pistol. And the trigger on the one I shot was quite nice. It's not super long. It's got a crisp break. So of course, who knows how many rounds that pistol had through it. So,
yeah. Oh, you didn't try the really cool one with the cross bolt safety?
No, actually I didn't. They had it there and I'm looking at it going, I'm not trying that one.
What up?
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, okay, well, if you're going to put a safety on one, because some people want a safety, I guess that's a legitimate safety.
Well, I think there are some states that actually require you to have a safety on a pistol, a mechanical safety on a pistol.
I think you might be correct.
But a crossbow safety?
There's some states that require like a magazine disconnect safety, but I don't know. Well, maybe California. Who knows what they require?
I think there might be a couple.
But that pistol's made in the U.S., right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't need that to import it because that's at that 933 compliance points for that. But that's a little crap.
Okay.
Anyways.
Let's see. I don't know. everything was there, but nothing was there, is what it seemed like. One of the cool things that, as we were eating lunch, these guys stopped me. It's Pitbull Tactical. They gave me this magazine carrier, which is a universal adjustable mag carrier. See, you can it holds, that's a Glock mag, and here's like a 1911 mag, and it's it'll hold a lot of different ones. So if you have odd ones you can't find magazine pouches for, and it seems to work pretty good. But they just happened to see my shirt, and they gave the AR-15 podcast guys one and me one, and I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. I actually will do a review on it here and after I use it a while. So I'm like, that. I thought it was pretty cool. Let's see. I got this fancy little Crimson Trace flashlight. It's like a little 300 lumen flashlight. It's kind of nice. It's got a high and a low, which I don't remember what the low is. And a bazillion patches. So, I mean, the night vision patches were pretty cool. I didn't get all of them, but you got the Transformer, Optimus Prime, and Yosemite Sam's probably my favorite one, even though Yoda's pretty cool. Just stuff like that. The Tavor patch was pretty cool. Magpul was giving out their gold Magpul, which I thought was kind of funny. I'm like, that's kind of funny. They had a new upstairs. If you've been to SHOT Show, it was like on the 5th floor or something. On Wednesday, they had a pop-up SHOT Show. It was like all the people that couldn't get into the next pavilion, and it was interesting because there were some places up there that couldn't get in, but they had some cool stuff. I mean, it's kind of the same type of stuff. I went up there and looked.
SHOT Show light.
Yeah, it kind of was. It was just one of the rooms pieced together. I saw a couple concealed carry belts that were kind of cool. There's a medical place, another one making stuff. It's called Amp 3 Medical. They were doing some stuff, had kits there. Some clothes, stuff like that. There were some other gun companies there, but nothing that caught my eye.
You saw that, somebody asked, Rusty asked, that you see that window licking volley pistol.
What?
The volley pistol where you have 8-cylinder revolver firing two at a time.
I did not stop and see that one, but I
heard that was a revolutionary, game-changing revolving pistol thingy.
Yeah, and so was the what is it? They made the
you forgot the name. It's so
year.
great you forgot the freaking name.
The Providence.
The Providence.
The Franklin Armed Providence. Okay, now I'm going to explain this to you guys. It is a pistol caliber carbine that's double action. It's not semi-auto. It's double action. You pull the trigger, it pulls the bolt back, and then releases it and then fires.
It pulls the bolt.
Yeah,
back.
It's got a trigger like a revolver, long, probably worse than most revolvers, and you pull it back and the bolt slides back, and you get to a certain point, the bolt falls, and then and loads around, and then the hammer fires.
So the purpose of this is what?
F you to the ATF. That's
what way?
Literally it.
Well, no, the only purpose for that is going to be the one if they go on board with this banning of semi-automatic rifles.
Right.
This will be a non-semi-automatic rifle.
Right. That's their reasoning.
Because it's not self-loading action. It's manually loading.
Okay. No. I was just wondering, how is that a FU to the ATF? Now, is a FU to anybody that passes any bills about semi-automatic firearms?
Yeah.
Since it's not semi-automatic.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I was thinking more along the lines of, yeah.
Okay,
you're right.
let me explain.
Yeah, but
there needs to be an industry-wide intervention for Franklin Armory. Obviously, there's drug use and heavy drinking going on somewhere in their design team.
Well, they're in Nevada, so
Tony, are we going to put this up for the Hold My Beer Award at the end of the year?
I'm going to put it up for, let's see if it ever shows up on any store shelf outside of Nevada. I could call this a Twilight Zone award. Much like anything KelTec makes the first year, you just won't see it in a shop near you.
I don't think you'll see it in a shop near you for like years, if ever.
If ever, yeah.
But here's the funny part. It can get here, and it makes no difference because it's magazine fed.
So it's still 10-round limit.
I'd have to look into it. I mean, truthfully, I like stuff that says FU to New Jersey. Like the, and I hit you up about that. What's the New Frontier Armory folding lower receiver? We cannot have folding stocks on semi-automatic firearms here. The folding receiver is a huge FU, and it's this, and the lower receiver is still the same price as a Law Tactical folding stock adapter.
Right, and it's because the folder is built into the receiver.
Yep.
Correct. That it's that. Yeah. And stuff like that, that even makes more sense. New Frontier Armory is making a regular folder too, like the Law folder that they brought out.
But I'm going to have to call them and talk to them. I was hoping you or JD would speak to them, but I'm going to see if we can get one, because I'll build another rifle around that sucker just for the diversity shoot, just to introduce it and sell a bunch of units, because I'll put it in hands. And a whole lot of people just want to say FU to New Jersey too. And we can just have.
Yeah. Talk to JD. He's in good with those guys, so he can probably tell you who to talk to.
Yep.
So I'll probably remember more stuff from SHOT Show, but yeah, it was tiring and met all kinds of people, and you know how it goes.
Yeah, we'll probably see a trickle of stuff coming out, videos and whatnot over the next month or so from what happened at SHOT Show.
Exactly.
Blog
Not from
posts,
me,
all that
but
crap.
yeah. Yep. So we'll get into the announcements now that we've been sitting here for a few minutes. Bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. New patches for pre-order and Patch of the Month Club. I got an email, something about the Patch of the Month is another like AK-47 AR.
Yeah, it's out there. It's the Patch of the Month for February.
Yeah, what was it?
No, it says February exclusive. You get this. It says size doesn't matter. A little banner with a heart behind it, and it looks like two ARs.
Oh, okay.
One with a collapsible stock, and the other one looks like it's got a Magpul PRS stock with a scope on it and bipod.
Of course, it's got a Magpul stock on it. Remember who designed it?
Well, I'm just saying what they look like they have.
By the way, I did see our ex-host Ryan Cross down there.
Did you tell me he still sucks?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He was doing good, because the first time I went by their booth, he wasn't there, so I had to talk to the ladies there, which were much nicer than Ryan ever is.
Oh, anybody's nicer than Ryan.
I mean, so
did you hear that? I had to talk to the ladies. They must have been creeped out. They were calling 911 trying to find out whose granddad was loose in the SHOT Show.
That's exactly right.
Wearing jorts and New Balance.
No, they're on the radio.
Hey,
Get security over here.
I had my fanny pack too. Don't forget it.
Oh man, that's like ick.
So, you can also use our affiliate link at GunTech USA. They were also there. I talked to them. They have some new stuff out, pretty much all AR related. If you're shopping Amazon, you can use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you want to donate stuff from Black Bag Resources to Tony, you can use the code 2A for E, and anything in your cart with that code will go to Tony's Diversity Shoots.
Yay.
Rob.
Yeah. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. And now, since someone actually did something this week, Zane's going to talk about the Fowler Industries Gen 5 Glock trigger. Zane?
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, so I got a trigger from Fowler Industries. It's called their Zero trigger. It is for the Generation 5 Glock pistols, which I wasn't, to be honest, super excited about because the Glock Gen 5 triggers are way better than previous generation triggers. So I really had no intentions of replacing mine, but they sent it out. So I put it in the gun, and I really like it. So installation's super simple. Pop a couple pins out, drop it in. It uses a polished OEM trigger bar, so it's mostly just the shoe you're getting. It is a little bit smoother trigger pull, but you could probably get that with about 2,000 to 3,000 rounds going through the gun. What's the most interesting thing about it is, and if you're watching, you can probably see it. If you're not, I'll explain it. It's flat-faced, but the sides are cut at an angle. So what that does is, if you use the pad of your finger like the internet tells you everyone is supposed to do, it doesn't really make a difference. But if you get a little more trigger finger on there, it feels almost rounded a little bit, and it's more comfortable. It takes up a little bit of the take up like you would expect from an aftermarket trigger. It is drop safe. They claim it's drop safe, and I did my own experimentation. I was unable to get the trigger to trip without actually depressing it. It's got a teeny bit of take up. You can see before it hits the tab safety, not much. Solid, and this is great audio, I know, but not a whole lot of travel. Like what you would pretty much expect from an aftermarket trigger. It is made out of 6061 aluminum. I just said that. I think that's what it is. Let me look at my notes. Yeah, 6061 aluminum. This particular model has the blue safety tab in it. I'm not a huge fan of anything blue on guns because military background, blue means training. But if you're into blue, that's an option they offer. I tried it with 3 different connectors because the Fowler Industries recommends that you use it with an OEM minus connector. I shot it with the only minus connector I have is I have 2. I have a Zev 3.5 and a Ghost Edge 4.5. And I shot it with all of them. I just like the OEM connector best, so I put that one back in. If you're into the other stuff, it works fine with it. It worked great. I just don't like when I use the lighter connectors, the brake feels more like a rolling brake to me than a crisp brake. And I just prefer a solid wall and then to push through it. So, which you can change all that with springs and stuff, but I don't like to change too much around because then you start screwing with perfection. Let's see here. Trigger pull. Yeah, we talked about that. Obviously, you're not going to get a 1911 trigger out of a Glock. It's just not going to happen. So if that's what you're expecting, you're wrong. 8 key points. It's a aluminum Gen 5 trigger flat face. The target market's anyone looking for a better trigger shoe for Glock. And I hope you caught that misprint, Chad, because there's a typo in the review.
Oh well. I don't know. I guess I better go look at it now.
Whoops.
Oh, at the very beginning, there's one too. Just saying.
Hey, we're expected to be perfect on these things. I guess we're not. We're just talking. Hey, Zane.
I'm just saying if the spell check or grammar check doesn't catch it, I'm sure as hell not going to catch it. Let's see. So the features and benefits provides a better contact surface for the trigger finger. Smooths out the travel a little bit and removes some of the unnecessary take-up or pre-travel without compromising the safety. And it looks cool, if that, matters to you. The other aesthetic options that are available, they have a Spider-Man edition, which is a red trigger with a blue tab. It's all Spider-Man-y. They have a red one, a blue one, a green one, an all-black one. Their website was kind of weird. Every single trigger, it seems like was a different thing to click on. You don't just click on the trigger and then select your color option. They're like all listed sporadically, so they might be other options that I couldn't find also, but those are the ones I saw. What others are saying, I could not really find any written reviews on it, only video stuff, but everyone seemed to like it. price point on it. Price point on it's $145. So that is on the higher end of aftermarket triggers. But it's not terrible for what you're getting. So that's a decision you got to make for yourself, I guess. Pros: improved feel, pre-travel recommended, pre-travel removed, and it smooths out that trigger just a little bit. And then those edges they're cut at about 30 degrees or so, and they're pretty nice, pretty legit. Cons: really the only con I have is the price, quite honestly. I mean, it's a little high. The other thing I will say is that there is a teeny bit of take up you might be able to see before it touches the safety tab. They probably could have got rid of that. It's like a 32nd of an inch. So I didn't notice it until I actually looked at a couple other triggers I have. But it's not really much of a big deal in my opinion. So overall score was an 8.5, which is great.
Woohoo. Well,
so I'm looking at this because I've shot the Gen 5 Glock. I've shot the Glock 45. Glock 45, which is
Gen 5 trigger.
Yeah, dude, that thing is really, really good compared to any other Glock. Now I have a lot of rounds through my Gen 2, and it's a little better than the Gen 2, and this thing has been shooting since the 90s. So I'm looking at $145 MSRP. For something that if you spent that exact same money on ammo, you'd have the trigger.
Well, you would have the smoothness, yeah. And I actually thought about that earlier. I was like, man, you could spend that same $145 on ammo. But what you're not going to get is the flat face shoe. If that, you're going to spend $100 for pretty much any aftermarket trigger with a flat face. So, again, they offered this trigger for Gen 3 and Gen 4. And like I said, I'm with you, man. The Gen 5 triggers are a far improvement to the other triggers. But I was pleasantly surprised with it. I put in the review that I unenthusiastically installed it. But I was surprised. I like it. But you're right. It is, for what you're getting, it's kind of pricey.
It's kind of pricey, and okay, whatever. Hey, do you whatever you want to do. I'm not going to be down on it at all. But I'm like, yo, dudes, if you've shot your Gen 5 Glock and you've put some rounds on it and you go, you know what, I want a little better trigger, got you. But if you just purchased your Gen 5 Glock, why don't you shoot it for a little while?
And that to me, that goes with any gun, I think. Yeah. I mean, I probably had 500 or 600 rounds through this gun before I put the trigger in it. So the other trigger was not by any means broken in nearly as smooth as this one. It would have got there, a couple more thousand rounds. It would have smoothed out just fine. But you're still, I'm a big fan of aluminum triggers. I like the aluminum triggers. The other thing that's worth mentioning is there is no lip on the very bottom of it. Some aftermarket triggers have that little lip that sticks out. Okay. It's kind of personal preference with those. Some folks like them, some folks don't. I drag my finger along the bottom of the trigger guard because the lower you can get on the trigger, the more leverage you have. So I'm a no lip guy. This is why my other favorite trigger is the Overwatch Precision DATs, which they don't make anymore in aluminum. So, yeah.
Maybe if I didn't have such an old gun, I'd check something like that out just to see the difference. I mean, it really does come down to that. I don't have a lot of experience changing triggers out. Friends of mine have Glocks with, all kinds of aftermarket triggers, and I check them out.
They do make a Gen 2 trigger, actually. I was looking on the website. Just so you know. Now, installation's stupid easy, though. You pop the 2 pins out, or previous generations, 3 pins. Pull the whole trigger out, drop the new one in, pop the pins back in, put the slide stop back in. Easy peasy.
Yeah, just like most Glock triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me check it out. And hey, they can send me one. Yeah. And maybe I'll sing a different tune. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not for everybody, but I was pleasantly surprised with it. just felt like I was like, all right, trigger, but I like it.
Good
I'm not in a
deal.
hurry to rip it out of the gun. I'll tell you that much.
That says a lot for you.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yep. Okay. Now we're into the product spotlight and discussion. But I have actually had hands on most of this stuff, so that is a plus. First up, we got the new KelTec CP33 with an MSRP of $475. And because it's a KelTec, I don't know when you're going to find one. What it is their funky new 22 long rifle pistol. You kind of have to go look at the pictures if you haven't. You'll understand what we're talking about then. It's kind of got the pistol grip in kind of probably in towards the center more. So you get an overhang off the back and then the front. Like we said, it's 22 long rifle. It weighs 1.5 pounds. But here's the kicker. Magazine capacity is 33 rounds in your standard pretty much length pistol handle. It is 10.6 inches long, which is pretty long. It's got a 5.5-inch barrel. It is threaded. Twist rate's 1 in 14. Not that that really probably matters. I did shoot this at range day. Of course, like 5-10 rounds. But, I don't like the way the handle feels for me. If you like their 22 mag, it's pretty much the same handle. It is very smooth and it just doesn't feel right in my hand, but I did like the way it shot. It shot nicely. So it was nice. Just kind of something. I don't know if anybody was really asking for this pistol, but it's kind of a neat thing if they are able to keep up with what people want, and if it feeds reliably out of their double stack magazine, which is the only concern I would have. It's kind of neat. I did the triggers, but I will say I did stop by the Tandem Cross booth, and they are making a trigger for this, and they had one there, and their trigger is far superior to the KelTec one. I don't know what it costs, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. It's got kind of a raised, kind of like an AR charging handle, but you just pull back on it. It does have a full-length rail on the top. I don't really know what else we can say about it. Except maybe what you guys think.
It looks interesting. I've got the PMR 30. It's a fun range toy. That's all I use it for. I'm not going to use it for anything else. Does it have a threaded barrel?
Yes.
Now, do they have this? I'm assuming they don't have the same disclaimer that they sell the threaded barrel for the PMR 30, but they say you're not supposed to run a silencer on it, which is absolutely idiotic.
No, because like down below it says it takes the optic and suppressor host game to the next level.
That's what I was hoping. But what I don't get though is why the big overhang in the back? Like we were talking earlier, it looks like a Borchardt with the C93.
I'm thinking the only reason they did that is it balanced really well for me. I think that's probably the only reason they did it. The safety's kind of,
wonky.
Yeah, I didn't care for the safety.
Well, it's in about the same place for the PMR 30. It's behind and above.
Right, but it's nothing. It wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. Let's put it that way.
Well, one thing for sure, you're not going to be overhand racking this thing.
No,
because with that rail up top, it's gonna rip your hand apart.
You can only rack it. The rail and everything doesn't move. It's just
right.
You can only really rack it from the back. So, yeah.
I like the double stack magazine. That seems an interesting take on a 22 magazines.
I just hope it works.
It looks like you're begging for rim lock.
Well, yeah, that's what Rusty said in the thing. He said he thinks rim lock, and I think so too, but I don't know for sure, depending on how it feeds. The picture of the magazine's not that large, so it's kind of hard to tell.
So I watched.
Well, you saw the magazine.
Well, yeah, but I didn't pay that close attention to it.
Who did a video? TGC.
That could be.
Firearms blog. No, the Firearms blog did a video with it because they got to see it earlier. They went to a whole KelTecs shoot earlier this year. Excuse me. And here's what I did not see. I did not see them fire 10 rounds in a row. Okay? So I saw no one do an actual mag dump without a cutaway. So I wonder
if it made it that many rounds without having to. Yeah.
Right.
So I watched it twice this morning, and I'm like, dude, they've shown you shooting this thing, but they haven't shown you shooting it completely without changing the angle between. So it's a cutscene. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've learned how to watch videos and look at some of these YouTube channels with their gun content, especially people that get exclusive invitations to shooting events, and you just have to watch it like a hawk.
Oh, come on, Tony. Those people are 100% honest. They would never, ever exaggerate anything.
I don't know if they call it exaggerating. Maybe they look themselves in the mirror because they just said, hey, I left some stuff out, or you have to read between the lines. But I did not see a complete mag dump done once.
And you probably won't for good reason.
Yeah, and like I said, they didn't let us shoot a full mag at range day. So yeah, I wonder if that could be a problem.
And if anybody gets their feelings hurt, understand they still had problems with the PMR 30 when it came out that they still had to fix. So let's not act as if KelTec has this long history of coming up with flawless guns.
Well, in 3 years, when it hits the shelves, we'll,
Yeah.
No, in 3 years when it hits the shelves in sufficient quantities for us to buy, because I'm not going to spend a 50% markup on any pistol.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a KelTec problem, which they've had since day one.
No, it's not a problem. It's just they artificially limit production to drive demand.
Well, I don't think it's that. I've listened to, and it might be that. But
Yeah,
I've listened to some interviews with people at KelTec, and their reasoning is, and look, I'm not a fan of KelTec. I haven't been. This is not a secret.
Go ahead, tell me what their reaning is.
Their reasoning is because of they only have so many production machines or whatever, so they do a run on these, and they'll retool that machine to do a run on these.
So what KelTec's excuse is, they haven't figured out they build guns.
Right. They haven't had to figure out if we buy more machines, we can build more guns.
Hey man, they need to stop being poor. That's all it is.
Yeah, they haven't learned that you can expand your production capability like every company does.
Yeah. And again, I'm not a fan of KelTec, man. I've got a sour taste in my mouth for them. I have a sample size of 2. So that, you take that for what it's worth. But
it's not my sample size. It's when I looked at their guns, and they have more seams in their guns than some cheap airsoft guns do.
Yeah, I've owned 2.
See where it goes together, and it's just like, dude, do you not buff this off a little bit where these things sandwich together? Fit and finish is it's not good.
Well, I've had 2.
Not impressed.
I've had a KelTec P3AT, the little 380 model they had for years. Wasn't impressed with it. It hung up, jammed, double fed, whatever. And then I had a PF9, and literally the locking block snapped off the barrel. So,
I saw their survival gun, and I'm like, that looks interesting, only because it's featureless. You know what I mean? All it has is a detachable magazine. If you have something that actually works and the build quality is decent, it has a short overall length, it looks thin, it's small enough for a truck gun, doesn't take up a lot of room, and it's light. I'm liking that. But then
you mean they're sub 2000?
No. They have something called the survival rifle, the KG something. I don't know. It's a 5.56 bullpup.
Is that the KSG?
No.
No.
They've got the RFB and the RDB.
It's an What's an RDB?
Because the KSG is a shotgun.
Right.
Yeah, it's an R something, and it ejects downward. Maybe it's a 5.56.
I think that's the RFB.
Yeah.
And
it
has hyphen S in its name. Oh, well,
No.
I'm on their freaking stupid page. I guess I can look at it.
Well, they got the RDB, which is rifle downward ejecting bullpup. Then they got the RFB, which is forward ejecting bullpup.
Right.
I don't know. I got a buddy who's got two. He's got like 5 PMR 30s because he absolutely loves them. I just don't.
I've got a PMR 30. It is a safe queen, and I only take it out a couple times a year to go to the range.
I'm sorry, it's locked up. The page is locked up on their sub 2000 recall.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Well, they want to make sure you know about it. Okay.
Because I was going to say the sub 2000 is the one that flips in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it, Tony?
Yeah, it's called the RDB-S. Yeah, that's it. It's RDB-S. It's 5 pounds, 14 ounces, 26.1 inch overall length, 16 inch barrel, 1 in 7 twist barrel, and a 4 pound trigger. So it sounds good. It has no pistol grip that you can mention. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all built into the bullpup design. So I like the idea. It has a big, stupid, honking front sight on it that folds down, though, and you can just do the optics on it. Again, I like the idea because it says "F you to New Jersey" because it has 0 features.
Okay. Well, now we know this. I guess we'll go on to the optic you can put on your RDB-S. Thanks for the and Zane's making noise.
Zane thinks he's a guest on primary and secondary.
Yeah. So what we have next up is US Optics new TS8X with an MSRP of $795. And what it is it's their 1:8 rifle scope, true 1X 30 millimeter tube, 24 millimeter objective. It is a first focal plane illuminated reticle. The adjustments are capped, so they're not open. You can get it in 2 different reticles, the J&G mil reticle. If you go, it's kind of, they explain them on their website. They're kind of both a ballistics drop reticle in mils. So one's supposedly a rapid ballistic reticle and the other one is something else. I'm not doing it justice because I don't want to click on it because I'll probably lose all my stuff. And they're new, super clear. Let's see. They weigh 3 kilograms. I'm trying to figure out why a U.S. company is giving dimensions in kilograms and centimeters.
Because it's probably not made here.
I don't know where it's made. There is a good chance. I know the glass isn't because they import it, but it is assembled here. I do know that. But basically,
so it's like IKEA furniture.
Yeah. But it is not. If you know anything about US Optics, this is a lot of their optics are way more expensive. This is their kind of middle. It's their lower end, but it is a beautiful clear glass optic. I looked through one at SHOT Show. They also make it in a 1:6, same price, I think, or maybe $100 cheaper. But of course, why not get a 1:8? It is first focal plane, which helps if you're got it cranked up. You can buy it with or without a mount. It's a really
in case
nice
you want to duct tape it to your gun.
Well, you could duct tape it to there if you want. I mean, it's not their B25 that's $3,349. So
well, the other thing is, I mean, if you want one of those stupidly tall mounts,
Oh man. Yeah, it's decent. I liked it. I liked the reticle in it. Like I said, it's illuminated. I figured I'd throw it in here for people that, look at it. It's got nice glass, that I can say. It's a 1:8, so you're probably the capped cap turrets are probably fine because you're going to put it on some sort of AR-10, AR-15, and you're not probably going to adjust it. You're just going to zoom it up to 8 and shoot something farther away with the reticle, and that's probably it. Let's see if I missed anything that's important here. It doesn't look like it. It takes my favorite batteries, which are 2032s. That's about it. It doesn't give life of if the reticle's on. So you'll have to check them out. What do you guys think? It's out of Tony's price range, so.
Well, I mean, pretty much the glass is out of my price range, mainly because I shoot iron sights most of the time. But I'm looking at it, right? Like it's 18 ounces, well, 17.9 ounces. Is that heavy or light? Or something that straps on top?
The 1 to 6 that I have weighs more than that.
Okay.
But so it's a little lighter, but it's not. It's about par for the course, really.
Because that's just for that without the rings. Just checking it out. I mean, they make good quality stuff, and maybe they're starting to enter stuff in the lower price point because companies like Vortex and HoloSun are market disruptors.
Yep.
So,
and I will mention that we'll probably talk about later in the day. They also came out with some small red dot optics that aren't like super high priced. Like one of them, I think, is $250, which is on par with like HoloSun and
Vortex.
Right. So, they're doing something there. So, but we'll probably talk about that some other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably take a look at this a little more because that's probably my next purchase is going to be some sort of a low variable power optic 1 to 6, 1 to 8. So this one's probably going to go in the read into further category.
Right.
The consideration bin.
Yeah.
My question is, what do you spend on? What determines your price range? And I don't think this is expensive at all, especially from US Optics.
No, it's not, especially for an LPVO. I mean,
with a first focal plane.
Yeah, definitely first focal plane, $795.
You're looking. They're right in there with what you would expect to pay from other companies.
Me personally, for my first one, I'm trying to come in under $1,000 just because.
Yeah,
I understand buy once, cry once, but at the same time, I may decide I don't like this. And I don't really have a need for it, quite honestly. A red dot, I can get hits just fine out to 100 yards with a red dot, and I don't see myself taking any shots longer than that. But I don't know.
See, I'm a little different. I use red dots because of the reviews. I use red dots so I can use them in the diversity shoot to make it easier for new shooters. But I have stigmatism. So all red dots are blurred for me.
They're all like 65 MOA.
they look like the biohazard symbol just stamped over itself ad nauseum. But I like shooting small, tight groups, and because of this problem with my eye, I can't do it with an optic. So something like this with crosshairs, or even with something that's etched in the glass.
Right, it's an etched reticle, so you can actually
use
it.
I'm guessing
what I would like to know is why the bloody hell did they do the knobs in MOA, but the reticle in mils?
Oh yeah, that's irritating.
That just it's on their description sheet.
Yeah.
Elevation knob, quarter MOA, travel 100 MOA, windage knob, quarter MOA, travel 100 MOA, reticle, first focal plane mil scale.
Oh yeah, you know what? I take back what I said about this going into my consideration bin. That's one of my pet peeves. I missed that. Good catch. Yeah, that's one of my pet. I can do mils, I can do MOA. I'm not going to do a bunch of math in my head though.
Right, because you gotta.
I mean, the reality with this, you've got the covered turrets, so you're not going to be doing a whole lot of adjustment while you're out in the field. More than likely, what you'll be doing is just holdovers, but just Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I get it. So yeah.
I mean, I've never seen this. So I really don't feel bad dissing it too bad. But if you're gonna do something like that and charge me $800 for it,
well, and that's the thing is, it's like, okay, you guys are having it made. If you're gonna do MOA clicks adjustments, just put an MOA reticle in it.
Yeah.
I mean, or I can understand how maybe
or just make the knobs mill.
Yeah, or that one or the other.
I don't care.
So typically, what I hear from most people that shoot longer range stuff, which I realize a 1 to 8 is not for long range necessarily, but you can do decent work with it. The most people I know, they'll usually dial in for elevation and hold for windage. So that's called doing math when one's one and one's the other. And I don't math so good. And, yeah.
Well, listen, if you want milled dots and milled everything, you got to spend $1,299 on that SVS 1 to 6, and they'll do it right for another $400.
Yeah.
I think there's a few companies that are making them that are matched though, that are coming in under a G.
I would seriously consider looking at what Vortex has or something else, but
I want to say even Loophole entry level.
Oh yeah.
One is coming in under a G.
Yeah, Loopies are good.
I don't want to do this. Okay. I don't want to spend so little money that I just hate variable optics because I got a crappy one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into something so far over my head that is beyond my current skill set or even my, and again, like you said, Zane, what if I just don't like them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you buy. If you buy a Loophole or a Vortex, a really good scope, you can probably sell it and not, lose a whole lot of money on it.
Same with probably the US optics.
I could probably pick it up. And I can probably pick them up used. Again, they won't be beat up. So that's something else. But I mean, what if I find out that I just want to fix 3 power?
Yeah.
Well, if you want a fixed 4 power, Brownells is making their retro scope now for the AR.
Dude, I saw that. I saw that because I'm angry at Brownells anyway. I mean, I finally got my dissipator together, and then they came out with that BRN 605.
I'm angry at Brownells. I like that.
Gun.
Okay.
Brownell's like, who that guy?
Oh, they know who I am. They know who I am. I cursed them out.
So next up is exactly what we said. It's the Powder River Precision 1022 bolt lock with spare extractor. It's got an MSRP of $24.95, which isn't terrible, but I talked to these guys and at first, I'm like, okay, so why the extractor? Well, they explained to me that if you have one of the 1022 takedowns and you put it together wrong, you can bust the extractor off. So now you have a spare. And knowing which, it makes sense. So that is the whole reason why they pretty much did this. I mean, you could stick it in normal 1022, and if your extractor somehow breaks or something, you have a spare. But it was primarily made for the takedown. I just thought it was kind of something cool that's inexpensive. If you have a takedown one, maybe you want to get one. If not, I don't know if there's really too much discussion for this product. It's more, hey, they have this if you want one.
What does it just kind of pop out like it's perforated basically, and you can just
it's got
snap it out.
It's got like one little piece that's holding it in, and you just snap it out and then snap and put it in your bolt. But I mean, super easy. And then it's, it holds the bolt back better than the, factory ones. However, they don't work.
So if you have a 1022 takedown, you probably might want to look at this. If you don't, you absolutely do not give a single flying F.
That's probably true.
But pretty much.
That's pretty much it. So,
because I was checking their stuff out for the Ruger 1022, Because what is this? The bolt lock with extractor, and then they have the ejector with extractor for $18.95.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just spare parts for your Ruger. I have no idea how much the Ruger OEM parts are.
Right. I mean, this does have one of the ones that when you release the bolt, if you pull it back, it'll drop free, unlike the stock Ruger one. But besides that, it's got nothing special but the spare extractor.
They also make a trigger assembly for the Ruger 1022.
They do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But this is cool. Next up, we actually have a little bit of listener feedback, kind of. And
Say
this
what?
is more, it's more directed at Zane and Rob, probably, but.
Oh, cool. Florida man attack.
This is from John C. It came in email. He actually sent it to the Firearms Radio Network first, and then Sean forwarded it to me. So I don't know how old it is. It says, listen to the podcast.
Do they hate TJ?
No. They might.
That would be an old email.
Yeah.
Listen
How long you
been
sitting on this one, Chad?
Exactly, a while. Okay. Listen to the podcast religiously and love every minute. I have a longtime friend who is completely new to firearms, who wants to go beyond the basics that I've been able to work with him on. He lives in the Fort Myers, Florida area, and I'd appreciate any references you can provide for one-on-one handgun and self-defense. I have no suggestions as I live in Pittsburgh. Any help would be appreciated. Keep up the excellent work. And I have no idea where Fort Myers, Florida is. So
Fort Myers is about an hour west of me. So
that's on the West Coast, right?
That's good upsec. Way to just tell everybody where you live, Zane.
Nobody's going to come to
An hour west of you is like everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I actually don't know too many guys in that area. Everyone I know is over on the other coast. I mean, I do a little bit of stuff, but they're busy. Forward me his email. I'll send him an email.
Hey,
okay.
With some guys over there in that area.
Hold on. I got a guy. I just don't know how Florida's laid out. Let me see.
Fort Myers is like south of Tampa.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Northport?
Yeah, Northport's the Fort Myers area. It's probably about 20 minutes north of Fort Myers.
A friend of mine, Derek Poole, runs a company out there. He worked with Rob Pincus a lot, ICE. He's one of the ICE instructors also. So yeah, Derek runs his business out of there.
And then there's Altier down south in Naples. But I heard they were closing, then I heard they weren't, then I heard they were. So I'm not sure what's going on with them. They used to host big name dudes all the time and had their own cadre, but I don't know what's going on with them. But yeah, if you forward me his email, I'll talk to some of my peoples and get him hooked up.
Okay, I'll send it over. I just figured it was kind of a combo, so I'd throw it in here. Tony, I think it's all you.
He just assumed all Florida men know all other Florida men.
Well, you're all crazy.
Well, yeah, that's beside the point.
I know lots of instructors like in the Palm Beach, Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. I probably know 12 people I could send you to over there, but the other coast is less, less people.
Yep. So again, all I have is Derek. I'm on his page right now trying to find out. Well, he's with the Personal Defense Network. So maybe you can find him through there. DERYCK, Derek Poole. Anyway, let's talk about the diversity shoot. The next diversity shoot is coming up on the 28th of February, the last Thursday of that month. And it's going to be awesome. We're going to have some stuff. I have some feelers out to try to get some new guns in or new stuff in that should be interesting for anybody who wants to come out and pull triggers. We're going to have a lot of fun. 2019 is going to be busy in New Jersey. We're going to be doing a lot of work because we have a lot of work to do. And my whole purpose is to create new shooters this year. My entire purpose is to bring people in, regardless of race, religion, sexual orientation, gender, background of any type. I'm going to try to grow it because not only do we need gun owners, we need politically active gun owners, especially this year. Because, again, they're going to start, they have 26 anti-gun bills that they want to push through, 26 more in Jersey. So we're going to need all the help we can get. And that's all I got to say about that. Again, it's 28th February. It's the last Thursday of the month. Hope to see you guys out there. If you want to support what we do, of course, you can go to Black Bag Resources, order, and type into a 4E. Whatever you order can get sent to us, and we can use it at the diversity shoot. You can go to patreon.com. And the second is For Everyone podcast, and you can donate there. We're going to give away cool prizes. I just gave away a Spyderco Delica 4 special edition, limited edition to one of our patrons. You also can go to our GoFundMe to a 4E, and you can purchase a shirt at 1022clothing.us. Just talked to my guy. We got new shirts we are designing right now that should debut before the February 28th release date. So thanks a lot, as always, giving me this time to talk about it. You guys out there, join your state Second Amendment advocacy group. And if you don't have money to do that, at least join their mailing list so you're aware of what's happening in your own state, so stuff doesn't sneak up on you and get passed without you at least writing letters and calling your representatives. Do not let this stuff pass. There's a push going on the state level. Get out there, be active. Thanks a lot, guys.
And I'm gonna add in the non-political stuff for Oregon. It looks like March 23rd at the Capitol there will be a Pro 2A meet or try to fight our stupid bills that they want passed. So that is there. If you live in Oregon, I'm saying please attend. I am doing everything I can to try to make it. And now we'll get into the wrap up. Send questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. And thank you for listening to the largest pound-for-pound podcast on the network. And we are out.
Bye, Felicia.